will be sharing it through our Facebook page as well. So you can go back and to review it if you're unable to. After each session or presentation of the pillar, we will leave space for any questions, comments, or concerns. And if we cannot get to you today, we'll make sure that we follow up with an email. And so now I will pass it on to our Mayor Pro Tem, Gina Bibbett.
Good morning, Lachelle, and all of those who are joining us today. And Lachelle, I really appreciate your housekeeping notes because that ensures I'll be on real good behavior. And, you know, as opposed to just being free to be. But the picture that you had on initially just really brightened my day. And that was the groundbreaker for Cowan Place. And I'm going to turn that into a poster, because it's just so very, very special to me and people like Jan, who's on the call, and others who grew up in the Stop Six community, seeing dirt turn for something brand spanking new. I talked about it today when we were at the Envision Center, getting people connected with job preparedness and advancement. And so rather than belay my joy, I just say thank you for letting me be a part of this. Good morning to you all. And I turn it over to the next speaker, which should be our czaress of Fort Worth Housing Solutions, if I'm reading it right.
I think you are, Gina. I appreciate that. And we couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate your continued support. This has been a long project, but just like you, that day that we got to turn dirt was really special. So we're very excited about the movement of the project and really excited to share all the updates with you this morning. But I also just want to welcome our friends from HUD that are on the call. We know that you couldn't be with us in person, but we sure do appreciate all the support and the help that you've given us to get us to this point. And I know that it will continue over the life of this grant. So we can't wait to see you in person whenever HUD lifts those restrictions. And until then, we'll just have to share some video and pictures. So I'll turn it back over to you, Lachelle.
Alrighty, thank you. Now I will turn it over to, I think everybody know by now, the Senior VP and Director of Development of McCormick Barron Salazar, Lou Bernardi.
Lachelle, we're going to pause for that video, I think.
Yes, I'm sorry. So we want to share the wonderful video of the groundbreaking. I'm super excited. So phase one is Cowan Place, and we did our groundbreaking a week or two ago, and so we will share that video with you.
I grew up in Stop Six. What I know is that people love this community with its deep roots and place in history as the sixth stop on the interurban rail line between Dallas and Fort Worth. Our breakthrough came through collaboration. It took everybody. It took elected officials, it took government, it took church leaders. Cowan Place Senior Living is the first step toward inviting residents back.
I was born and raised in Stop Six. Now I'm downtown. I'm ready to come back. And I told them to make sure they put me very first on the list because I'm ready to come back to Stop Six and be around all my family.
We have to recognize the true potential for just this development alone that will change generations of families for the better.
At every turn, we're pushing everybody to do as much as they can because everybody deserves a place to call home. And it needs to be beautiful. And it needs to be safe. And we need to have the services you need close by.
Cowan Place will be a beautiful, beautiful center for seniors. We'll create a whole new place, and it will, in fact, stimulate new investment and new development, but it has to be equitable, and the community has to share in it.
Stop Six Texas. We are going to transform you for the better, but not without understanding the history and heritage that makes this community so incredibly special, and importantly, making sure our children, my children, your children, all understand the history of Fort Worth and Stop Six Texas and the future we want this to be.
All right. Hopefully you all were able to see the video on that side. And so now I'll go ahead and pass it over to Lou.
Thank you, Michelle. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back with you again. And that video was just great, and really speaks to the to the enjoyment of that celebration that day, and gives us impetus to keep moving forward in a real positive way. So I just wanted today to provide an update, kind of a brief update on where we are with Cowan Place and the construction process for Cowan Place Senior Living. We've talked about it before. It's a large building, 4-story building with very interesting architectural facets, interesting grading issues to overcome, but we have a great contractor on board, a great development team, consultants, and certainly partnership with the city to help us get through all of that in a way that will meet our schedule and certainly our budget. We've got a projected 24-month construction period, really from start to end. That's probably construction as well as a portion of time related to pre-leasing and some lease-up work. We'll begin to pre-lease. Our projection is to begin pre-leasing, that is formally accepting applications in August, September of 2023. Certainly that will be dictated by the construction schedule and completion, progress of completion, but we think that we'll be on track there. McCormick Barron Management Company, our affiliate, is the property management agent, and there'll be a date information circulated soon over the course of the next couple of months as we progress, that will provide a phone number for folks to call in if they want to get on a list of interest. It's not a application list or a first come first served list, but simply a list where our management company can begin to document interest in the project and have callback information for folks who are interested potentially in living, excuse me, at Cowan Place, and then being able to formally connect with those folks when the formal application process begins. Just quickly, in terms of affordability, the development is 100% affordable to various income ranges. The rents essentially are established by HUD every year. February or March, HUD comes out with new rents for that year. So we'll be able to, the next 6 months or so, be able to provide more information on what we see the projected rents to be, but they will be within the HUD base rents for 1 and 2 bedrooms for incomes between 30% of the area median incomes up to 60% of the area median incomes. Next slide, please. So as I said, we've got a great contractor and they've got a great team on site, and we'll be have already made some progress, certainly begun to mobilize on the site after the notice to proceed was issued on the 20th of September. The major activities that everyone will see over the course of the next 3 months are just getting control of the site, erosion control. I believe the security fencing is already in place or almost complete. Be working on the site in terms of the tree clearing, which we understand from the report this morning has been pretty much done already, and they'll begin on site utility work for the project, and we'll be seeing some work in terms of concrete over the course of the next few months, and hopefully start seeing some framing early in February. Next slide. Hopefully folks have been able to meet some of the block team on site. As you all know, Section 3 hires are a high priority with respect to this work and all the phases of work associated with the Stop 6 C&I. The hires that the opportunities for employment will continue if there are folks that are interested now in terms of seeking potential employment opportunities. The information on the slide we will make available to everyone. The best and most efficient way is to contact block companies directly, as they're coordinating not only with their own hires, but also with hires that subcontractors and other vendors and suppliers may be looking for. So there are folks at block companies, Amanda LeBlanc, Sandra Picaram, their numbers are available. And also if there is an interest in meeting superintendent or the project manager on site, that person is Lynn Crow, and certainly will be able to accommodate folks as they approach the site. But it's probably a better idea to contact Block directly and be able to have a conversation with Amanda or Sandra to talk about potential employment opportunities, immediate as well as in the near future. Next slide, please. Block will be working to put together several job fairs in the coming months. We, as well as Fort Worth Housing Solutions and others, will do what we can to assist and facilitate that. The plan is to hold multiple job fairs over the course of the next several months, October, December, and February. Those dates and the specific locations of those job fairs will be announced well in advance to give folks time to get ready to attend and participate. And there'll be more job fairs as the progress of the work continues and various employment opportunities become available as different trades get ready to come onto the site. And again, the priority will continue to be the hiring of Section 3 eligible folks. And for those that are interested in registering for that, there's a link on this slide, and certainly will be made available in the chat, I'm sure, for folks to be able to submit proper paperwork to get that registration completed. This is the timeline that we've looked at several times over the course of our different updates. Of course, Cowan Place is under construction now. Our second phase of the C&I, which is Hughes House, which will be constructed on a portion of the Cabell site and beginning of Amanda. Will also, it's in progress. We're in pre-development there, completing our construction and other related documents, putting together a financing plan, and getting to a point where we will be able to start construction next year. And we're also in pre-planning for Hughes House Phase 3, which will be the second development on the former Cabell Public Housing site, 187 units. And we'll again proceed as per the original schedule. These phases will follow one right after the other. Constant planning and work to make sure the work is done well, and the product is the highest quality we and all of us can provide, and that we're meeting our deadlines, and also in encouraging community stakeholders, residents, and others to participate in the planning process for each of these phases as we move them forward. I think that wraps up my portion of it.
All right. Thank you, Lou.
Sure.
Now we will pause for a couple of questions, and Mary Margaret is and everybody else is just kind of chatting and answering those questions inside the chat. And so Art has posted the Cowan Place groundbreaking video, that particular link. Hello, Kelly. I see Mary Margaret has connected us from the Aging and Disability Resource Center. So I'll get in contact with you soon. Kelly mentioned some services regarding the seniors there at Cowan Place. And so I think that's all we have there. If I missed anything, anybody please jump in.
Lachelle, it's Kristen Sullivan. Some people are talking about different names for phases, and you might remind them that we'll send that.
Yes, and so we are sending out a naming survey for phases 5 and 6, and so we want the community's input, and so we'll talk about that as we close out, or make sure we send out that link. So. And now I will pass it on to Victor Turner, who is the Director of Neighborhood Services for the City of Fort Worth.
Thank you, Lachelle. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to give a brief update of our neighborhood plan. One of the things that we wanted to share was the proposed hub that will be part of the 2022 bond program. And you can see that it will include an enhanced aquatics facility as part of that bond program, as well as a replacement for Martin Luther King Community Center with a variety of features and amenities in the new facility. One thing that's not listed here is the child care facility that will be at the location that the city is planning to use ARPA funds, Rescue Plan Act dollars, to construct about a 9,000 square foot child care facility on site. So that, in combination with what we already have, is about a little over $30 million investment for the new hub. You can see the timeline for the 2022 bond election. And so we'd encourage you all to share with your friends and neighbors to get out and vote for that, so we can have this wonderful facility in the Stop 6 neighborhood. I believe there's another slide. Yes, this is part of a redevelopment effort led by our Economic Development Department, Barry Stallcup, which is at the old Dairy Queen site. We had reissued the request for expression of interest back in January of 2020. We ended up with 3 proposals, settled on 2 developers that came and did a public presentation a few months ago. Both had their pluses and minuses. And so the recommendation now is for them to work together so we can get the best of both worlds, and to get their resubmission of proposal as a joint venture, and looking for to have that real soon. You can see fall or winter. We're expecting to get that and take it to the Local Development Corporation, which Mayor Pro Tem Gina Bivens is the chair of that group. So this is the latest that we have on this particular proposal, and it'll be certainly a complement to what we're already doing in Stop 6.
Kristen, if I may, I want to add something to what Victor shared with us on that Dairy Queen corner. We know, just based on the rules of development, once whatever comes about goes up at that corner, the strip shopping center across the street where a lot of criminal activity takes place, that's going to change. Because when you bring in good, it drives out bad. And one thing Happy Baggett always told me before he died was, once we get something in place there, we can help the owner across the street with a facade grant. We reached out to him before he wasn't interested. But once that corner comes alive, you're going to see that entire spot up Stop 6 spring into light as well. And I just wanted to add that. Thanks so much, Victor.
Lachelle, there are a few questions I see.
So some of these will pertain to Lou. We do have a question about the providing the update on the MBE percentage contract, and more so geared towards the Black contractors. And Councilwoman Bivens responded back, reaching out to you. So I'll let you jump in, as well as Christina Brooks at the city was one of the questions. And then we'll kind of pause and then go into the naming of the community center.
Yeah, I responded to Dante because I didn't know if Christina was on the call. Her daughter was rushed to the hospital with COVID. And we've been working very closely with Lou, we being through Christina's office. And so if she's on, of course, she'll speak up. But if not, I encourage, Dante and everyone else to reach out to Christina, in addition to what information Lou can share today.
Sure, this is Lou Bernardi. We have a report that we will provide through block companies to update the participation I can't really tell or report on specifically the Black-owned firms, but we have a pretty comprehensive report that we've shared with Fort Worth Housing Solutions in the city, Christina in particular, about the contracting percentages, and we can share that report certainly with the community as it goes through the city and through Fort Worth Housing Solutions. But I think the goals that we had set forth originally with Fort Worth Housing Solutions and HUD in our agreements with C&I grant, I think have been met with respect to Cowan, and we're looking forward to continuing to improve not only the subcontracting percentages and minority participation, and specifically companies in the Stop 6 community, but also with regard to hiring opportunities for employment, whether they be Section 3 or non-Section 3. Jason Keller from Block Companies is also on the call today, and he's been very much involved with his company in terms of aggressively pursuing these opportunities with different companies and Section 3 potential hires.
All righty, thank you. Kimberly Horton asks, do we know the name of the new community center? That would be Victor.
I'll defer to Councilmember Bivens, but I do not think we have made a final decision on a name at this point.
Okay, Councilwoman Bivens said no. No, we have not. All right, now we'll move on to what I consider the heartbeat of this grant is the people pillar, and I'll pass it on to our senior project manager, Simeon Henderson.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you could go to the next slide, please, Kristen. So last quarter, we've made great progress with engaging our former Cabell Place residents. We have 98.3% of our households have established an individual development plan or a family development plan for their households. And since July, 67 residents have achieved at least one of their goals, which is an increase of 29% over quarter two. We're really excited as well, and special thanks to our partners this summer for providing our families with 3 wonderful family fun activities. In July, we had an opportunity to take our Cabell families to the Fort Worth Zoo. In August, we had an opportunity to take our families to the William M. McDonald YMCA for a family splash day. And in September, our partners at Campfire invited our families out to Camp El Torizo, where they had opportunity to be involved with canoeing and archery and other family team building activities. So thank you, partners, for these wonderful opportunities for our families. You can go to the next slide, please. Excited about our education efforts. This year, we've seen a 14% increase for our youth ages 0 to 5 and that are enrolled in early learning opportunities, which includes Head Start, pre-K, as well as we have 23 youth that are participating in the United Way funded Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And this program is designed for youth 0 to 5, where they receive free books, age-appropriate books on a monthly basis, and they have an opportunity to explore their love for reading and learning at an early age with their parents. So really excited about that. When it comes to our efforts with school-age youth, we've seen a 6% increase as well of youth development program engagement, where we've seen 12 youth this summer participate in the YMCA summer camp, where they established new friendships, they addressed summer learning loss, as well as explored outdoor activities. One thing that we're really excited to share is that we Urban Strategies recently received a Facebook grant, which allows us to purchase 175 Chromebooks for our former Cabell Place residents. The focus of this grant will be able to provide new virtual program options from online tutoring, mentoring, academic support, connecting our families to healthcare through telehealth, but also support our economic mobility efforts through job training, digital literacy, and ultimately closing the digital divide gap. So thank you, Facebook, and thank you, other partners, for your efforts in this particular category. Can you go to the next slide, please, Kristen? So our economic mobility overall goal is for all of our households to be economically stable and self-sufficient. So in the past quarter, we've seen 13 new residents receive receive new jobs, which is a 3% increase over quarter two. 35 also supported or were engaged in workforce development programs, anywhere from soft skill development, resume building workshops, job preparation, as well as TCC medical cohort program. And special shout out to two of our amazing residents who recently completed the TCC medical cohort program, and they both passed the state exam for their EKG certification. So I would like to salute Ms. Shaw and Ms. Fletcher for your diligence and your amazing accomplishments, and we're excited for your investment in the medical industry. Can you go to the next slide, please? And this is the final area that I'll share. Our overall health and wellness goal is for our children, youth, and adults to be physically and mentally healthy. And in the past quarter, 41 residents were connected to health or dental services. This includes primary healthcare insurance, connecting them with primary doctors, as well as getting them, providing support with their personal fitness and wellness journeys that they share with us that they would like to accomplish. We've also supported and connected 24 residents with just basic needs and emergency needs, from utility assistance, rental assistance, back to school supplies, and support around COVID vaccinations, as well as education in that particular area. Speaking of COVID vaccinations, we are really, really excited that we had an opportunity to partner with Healthy Tarrant County Collaboration, as well as the Public Health Department, where we received a CDC grant, which allows us to address the disparities of COVID in the Stop 6 community. This grant will allow us to mobilize a team of 10 Stop 6 constituents that will be able to do peer-to-peer education, be able to provide education around COVID, with ultimate goal of increasing the vaccination percentages in the Stop 6 community. We have allocated resources to 5 of our Caval residents. Each one of the Stop 6 influencers will be able to receive a stipend over the next 2 years to just make sure that we spread the word about vaccinations, as well as just making sure everyone is empowered to make the best decision for themselves. So the last thing I'd like to share is that we have an amazing new staff member, Ms. Gail Fields, who joined us with over 15 years of professional experience, primarily focusing on senior populations. So as you heard today around the wonderful Collins Place, our goal is to make sure that our seniors feel they're involved in this process over the next 2 years. And when opportunity for them to return to the Collins Place, they will. And Ms. Gail is going to help lead the charge in that particular area. So we're really excited. And I'll pause and answer any questions if there are any.
Lachelle, I don't see any questions except people talking about how wonderful Gail Fields is, and she's on the call.
All right. Well, we'll move forward with our upcoming events. It has been short, sweet, but very informative. Again, just to reiterate what Lou mentioned, block construction will have job fairs really throughout the city. Housing authority properties. And so we want to make sure we are targeting, one, our former Caval residents in these particular jobs, and then whoever else is interested in that. So October 27th will be the first job fair, and then November 17th, and that location is pending. We will encourage you to get this information off of our website, which is www.stop6cni.org, or follow us on social media, which is Stop6CNI as well. Kristen, can you go back to the previous slide? There we go. As Sylvia mentioned, the Urban Strategies, they're having the virtual health and wellness fair. Get that information off our website, as well as social media. And then our last 2021 community Stop 6 community update will be December 1st. So hold that on your calendar, and we will see everyone soon. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a good one.
There we go. Okay. Where are you, Mayor Pro Tem?